Hello, freedom seekers. Kelx here with your 13 signs sidereal update for the 11th of January 2021. What is 13 signs sidereal astrology? It is where astronomy and astrology meet again. And I say again because when astrology first was being developed, and I say first very loosely, however, because indigenous cultures would have used astrology and astronomy a long time before it was documented, even by the Babylonians. So the Babylonians were looking at the stars and the planets. So we had the moving stars, which are the planets, in reference to the fixed stars, which are the constellations. And they would watch those moving stars as they moved along the fixed stars within the zodiacs. And then there's a phenomenon of the Earth's axis called Procession, which causes the equinox to wobble. So it basically shifts. We need to take account for Procession because when we observe the planets in the night sky, that's where they fall because we take account for Procession. So essentially 13 signs sidereal astrology takes account for Procession. You can observe the planets in the night sky where I'm referring to them. Within Western tropical astrology, it's off. You will not be able to observe the planets in the night sky where they are referenced by tropical astrology. Tropical astrology has taken Procession out and is a purely symbolic language. I would like you to be able to observe the planets, having our experience here in this moment, in history, in time. I want you to be able to see the beautiful cycles of the planets in their natural state for us here in modern history. And I feel like us being able to observe the planets means that it can take us into that essence of something bigger than us. This awe state, inspiration state, and you start to access the subtle realms. And that's where astrology and energy coexist. So without further ado, let's talk about what's going on in the solar system for this week. We have a new moon that will fall in the zodiac of Sagittarius. It will also appear to line up with Pluto. Now, Pluto technically isn't a planet anymore. However, in astrology, we still refer to Pluto as a planet or a planetary body. What does this mean? A new moon is where the sun and the moon look like they're aligned in the sky. So they appear to be sitting in the same zodiac, and that's where Pluto is as well. So all three of these planets appear to be in Sagittarius. If we look at this from an archetypal perspective, a new moon is where we technically should be starting new things, starting a new cycle of the moon. We're clearing out anything that needed to be cleared out from the full moon progression towards the new moon. So we're starting a cycle again. So we're starting new things. In Sagittarius, it's new beliefs, it's new faith, it's new higher potentials. I'm going to say higher potentials, not just goals. These are bigger than goals. These are dreams even. In conjunction with Pluto, Pluto is life force. We have seen Pluto acting throughout the past 12 months. Life force is uncontrollable. Basically, what the Earth is attempting to do for us now is bring us back into alignment, bring us back into balance. We've shifted too far with ecological destruction, and the pandemic is a symptom of that, among other symptoms that are occurring on the planet. But if we just look at that one, that's completely out of our control. We're attempting to control it, but at the moment it's still out of our control. So what have you learned over the last 12 months in relation to you managing this unknown, in relation to you managing this uncontrollable part of our lives? Have you found a new belief? Have you found a new faith in yourself that in actual fact you don't need to control as much as what you thought you needed to control? Maybe there's a lot less. And perhaps there's a sense of relief there that you don't need to control as much as what you thought that you needed to control in your life. And could there be a new belief and a new higher potential going forward that I can allow myself to feel into this higher potential, to feel into this higher possibility, and I don't necessarily need to know all the steps. I also don't necessarily need to control all the steps. So that's what's happening with the new moon. Also this week, Uranus is going direct. Last year, probably the third quarter of last year, we had all the outer planets moving backwards. It felt like we were moving through mud, and I'm pretty sure everyone agrees with that. There was really this period where there was lockdowns, nobody knew what was happening, things were all up in the air, you didn't want to make any decisions, you didn't want to take any action for what might occur, and there was a lot of slowness. Uranus is the last planet now, one of the outer planets, to go forward. So now all the outer planets, all the outer transpersonal planets are going forwards, which means we have done our healing, we've done our thinking, we've done our, miasmic soup type stuff. Now we can start to come out of the miasma. We can start to feel renewed. And this is vibing in really well with the new moon this week. We've done lots of healing, we've done lots of transformation, and sometimes when you do that, and sometimes when you get in this pattern of uncontrollable events occurring, you get addicted to it. You get addicted to your healing and your transformation, your personal development. Well, now that time is over. Now it's time to make some changes. What have we learned from that period? What changes do you want to implement? And take some concentrated, focused action. Don't get distracted. Uranus loves broad scale information, right? Let's not get Uranus wrong. Loves broad scale information. But in Aries, which is where Uranus is starting to go forward, it wants to take concentrated, focused action. And you can do that, whether it be for your unconscious biases, improving diversity and inclusion within your business or your service or your life, or it might be taking ecological actions within your personal self. Now, there's a couple of reasons why I mention those two things. Uranus is the activist. Make no doubt, Uranus within the chart is the activist and the rebel and the radical. Now, we can all be rebels and radicals in our lives, and depending on the action that we're choosing to take, it can contribute to a collective momentum, because Uranus is also about the collective and the community. Now, you don't have to start with a really huge problem. You can just start with something in your local area. For example, within our local area, we want to have a vegetable garden, and we want others to have vegetable gardens. So we'll start, that's where we're going to start. We're going to start with our sustainable homes, solar panels, water, vegetable garden. I mentioned that already, composting. You can take small actions like that. Similarly, in relation to diversity and inclusion, you can take small actions in your service and your business. You can engage an inclusivity coach and reach out if you'd like to know who to work with, because I've worked with some. You can start following and paying Black, Indigenous, people of colour services, privileging them first over white people. Starting to change up your feed, starting to get a more diverse view in your feed, in Instagram, in YouTube, in Facebook, in the news reports that you listen to. You can start to diversify that way, and then you broaden your information, and Uranus likes that. But you can also then start to realize that your world was here, but in actual fact, your world is a lot bigger, and we can start to privilege the people that have been in the minority and put them in the front seat and walk beside them or behind them when they need us to. So that's this week. There are quite a lot of other aspects occurring. If you would like more details about all the other aspects that are occurring, please message me to come and join my membership group, which is Sidereal Stars. Each week I put detailed weekly astro energies in there and how to use them. That's $22 Australian a month. You can also sign up to my mailing list, where if you can't get my YouTube videos every week, then you get them in your mailbox, so you'll never miss a beat. So please do sign up to my mailing list. And coming very soon, very, very soon, is my course, Soul Service Astrology, which is where you can learn to become the astrologer of your own life, and you can learn to become an astrologer for others, integrating it into your purpose and your service. You'll activate your intuition, and you'll start to bring yourself back into the cycles of the planet. You'll start to bring yourself back into this alignment with planets and your purpose. And it's a tool to allow you to expand into your freedom lifestyle, a renewable, sustainable lifestyle. So that's it from me tonight. Have a beautiful evening, and I will see you next week. Bye.